A tentative deal has been reached before the debt ceiling deadline, but what does it mean when it comes to your finances? Joining us this morning is Antoine Curtin, founder of Solid Ratio Investments. Good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me, Jen. How are you?
I'm great, and everyone's waking up to this news this morning that a tentative deal could be in place. So what are some of the key terms of this deal, because it still needs to be approved?
The deal is still being formalized, but it proposes a reduction in government spending and reform to lift people out of poverty without imposing any new taxes or introducing any new government programs. And the debt ceiling will be raised to allow the Treasury to make right on its previously approved obligations.
And we know that if it hadn't been approved, this is when we start to face potential government shutdowns. It's not good really for anybody when that happens. So how does this affect the everyday American?
The specifics on the spending and reduction reform could have impacts on social services and government assistance programs, but how this could affect things like cost of living and inflation depends on the precise measures implemented.
Well, no one needs prices to go up, that's for sure. We're already facing skyrocketing prices as it is. So what are some of the next steps that have to happen?
Well, the next steps includes finalizing the bill's text and voting on it, which is expected by next Wednesday. But I would watch out for the reactions from both parties' members and potential procedural maneuvers to delay or alter this bill.
Well, the debt never really comes down. It usually always goes up. So what does this mean for the future?
The deal could stabilize financial markets by averting a default on U.S. debt. Also, reduced government spending might slow economic growth in the short term, but long-term effects will depend on the specifics of the spending cuts and reform.
Well, what are we looking at in terms of impact on the stock market, if any?
In the short term, we might see a positive reaction from the market. I mean, the immediate threat of a debt default has been averted. That could potentially restore investor confidence. But in the long term, the market's response will depend on the specifics of this deal, particularly how the proposed spending cuts and reform will be implemented and their impact on the economy. But it's important for investors to just monitor this situation closely because they can influence market trends and individual investment strategies.
All right, Antoine Curtin joining us live this morning. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.